Good evening and welcome to Nightfall in Amsterdam. Tonight we are joining a mixed group as they respond to a call that has gone out throughout all the supernatural communities that the former prince, or no, vampire baron of Amsterdam, Gunnar Thorson, has invited any and all of the supernatural community to come visit the Forests of Myth, formerly the Fairylands. For those who have perhaps not been following or missed it, the Fairylands were heavily burned, but it was found that the oldest trees in the park, as it was more of a amusement park tourist attraction type, the oldest trees and some of the building foundations had survived. Gunnar has purchased that space and done some heavy gardening, brought in a lot of new plants, done building, and largely revamped the entire property. And prior to opening to the public, he has invited everyone tonight. As you guys arrive, you'll find that it is quite a bit darker than atmosphere-wise than it had been previously. The large trees have been treated, that most of the ash and stuff is cleared and they're starting to bloom again. But a lot of the other plants are now very dark, thick, lush forest plants. It looks more of a wild forest as opposed to a groomed garden. The gates and walls have all been kind of redone. Large field stone and wrought iron is kind of the exterior theme, and even the inside buildings have been built out of real heavy dark timber, kind of given that real somber atmosphere and real historic aged atmosphere. While people are coming in and out, the gentleman at the gate who is waving everyone in is unknown to all of you, but seems to see whatever it is he's looking for as he waves you guys in.
Air's gonna kind of walk in, and when she's walking in, because this is an open invite, she's kind of keeping an eye for any guru that might be there.
Samantha will come in wearing like a Sunday best kind of outfit, nice blouse, dress. She'll just kind of look for anyone she might recognize and
and she'll see Miranda, who's
She'll-
now very definitely showing signs of being pregnant.
what is Miranda doing?
Miranda's just kind of wandering around, touching the plants, the trees.
She'll wave and kind of move over to her.
When she sees her, she'll give her a hug when she gets close enough.
How are you feeling?
Oh, this baby, it is starting to decide that it wants to sit on my bladder more. And so we are having a lot of disagreement on how often I need to go to the bathroom.
Are you winning?
Otherwise, I'm good. And how are you? How are you holding up with the walking?
Good. She'll kind of pat her own leg. Going great.
Bien. Is that air over there? I think that is air. See, that is air. Come, we will go say hello.
Okay. She'll walk with her.
And Miranda will drag Samantha over quickly towards air.
She'll, she'll allow herself to be dragged along.
Air is just
Buenas
kind of
noches.
looking around, like cautiously when you guys approach.
Buenas noches, chica.
She'll kind of turn around. Good evening, Miranda. And she'll smile at Samantha.
She waves.
I hope you're feeling better than you were the last time I saw you. She chuckles.
She blushes a bit. Okay.
What was wrong the last time you saw her?
She doesn't say anything.
Well, let's just say, Samantha needs to, work on her drinking game just a little. And she smiles
Samantha was
at
drinking and I
Samantha.
did not get invited? I am hurt.
I wasn't sure. I mean, if you wanted to be around that, I suppose. I'm sure there'll be a next time, right, Samantha?
Um, well, I mean, I can drink. There won't be a next time you drinking that whiskey.
Specifically, that kind of whiskey.
Anything that has somebody do funny magic business to it.
Nobody did magic. Oh, that's right. She just kind of chuckles and shakes her head.
Magic whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
Now I am very curious about this.
I don't know if I'd call it magic per se, but that's the easiest term to use. We'll roll with it.
Miranda looks between the two like there's something that you guys aren't telling her.
He said he was blessing it. She does quotations.
That's what he did.
Mm-hmm. But it was really, really strong.
That it was. It was delicious.
So you were drinking and there was a gentleman, and did you make it to the lovemaking, or
Is she talking to Samantha or is she talking to Air?
Samantha?
Oh, okay. She turns beet red and shakes her head. No.
No, we
Good.
had to we had to lay her down to sleep for the night.
They put me in.
She passed out in the
armor.
chair. I have pictures, and she reaches into her pocket and holds up her phone and holds the picture up of Samantha dressed up in all kinds of armor, all passed out.
That is adorable.
Isn't it?
She just looks around elsewhere while this is happening.
You'll note that it's just armor. It's not like it's anything embarrassing. Like you don't have any like sharpied things on your face or anything.
I have seen so many people in college when they pass out at a party get penises drawn in the Sharpie pen on their faces. So many.
Oh, believe me, I'm sure that crossed some people's minds, but we behaved ourselves.
I appreciate that.
My poor sweet little Samantha is growing up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Now you are going to have to start going on dates. So the gentleman that you were drinking with, is he somebody you would consider dating? Do I need to have a word with him to make sure that he treats you well? Are you seeing him still?
I feel like he's taking.
Stay on.
Mm-hmm.
Then we will find you somebody better.
I'm, I'm, I'm still good right now.
All right.
I think your voice has disappeared.
So she's kind of looking around. This is definitely different from the last
See,
time I was here.
that is the same for you and me both.
You guys did check the spirit end of things, right?
I have done what I could do for the area. I know that the fire that came in here it was not a normal fire, and
You're
it
back.
started everywhere simultaneously, and it would feel like very ancient primal fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would be watchful. The spirits that are present may not be fond of anyone.
When
Except
I
for
first,
maybe Samantha. They might like Samantha.
right after the fire, when I came by to see, there was not much of anything here. I have not checked since then to see if they have come back with the life coming back to it.
Uh, well, Veronica and I were here at some point, not too horribly long ago, and we were looking into something else, and well, yeah, we got into a tangle with some of these spirits, and there were probably more of them.
This does not sound good.
No, that's why I asked if you checked the spiritual side of things.
I have no.
Back.
Hmm. Uh, yeah.
By the way, that ship was made of like nails and hair and skin and bones.
The
What
ship?
ship?
See, the ship,
Yeah, that one?
when I disappear,
Oh. Hmm. Interesting.
Samantha will pull out of water and hand it to Miranda.
oh, muchas gracias, chica. And she will take it and drink some. See,
She'll stay.
apparently we were in the land of the dead.
What?
Yeah, Marcus kind of gave me the lowdown on that, sort of.
And Veronica almost made it so it would be much harder for us to get back.
Oh.
See, she killed people that were opening the portal for us to come back.
I somehow doubt she knew that that was the portal for you guys to come back.
Oh, I know, but it is what it is.
Yep,
It's strange how things like that overlap.
it is. It is.
But we got back and we are safe, and that is what is most important.
That it is.
So what has been going on with you, Samantha?
Nothing new, really. I tried to speak to one of the others in the chorus, and they're not working with Carl, and he's still going to work with Carl.
Oh, Carl, huh?
Mhm.
I am just waiting for Ilmari so that I can do the thing and then it will be over.
Okay.
Everything will be perfectly good.
Oh boy. Are you talking about doing things at that church?
Yes, I cannot say yes because it's not necessarily there, but I cannot say no because it may be there.
Okay. I would make sure to do some thorough investigations before messing with that place.
We do not need to investigate or anything. We just have to have somebody close to him for the moment.
Well, as far as I understand, one of your people tried to go in and check things out and got attacked.
I am not surprised.
So,
He is a worthless piece of shite.
be careful.
That is why I'm going to stand back and just press a button. And Miranda glances around to see where Gunner is.
He's not in the area around here. I need a perception alertness from everyone.
The child would like to roll perception or alertness.
Sounds like the child succeeded on perception alertness.
He did.
Miranda fails.
Oh,
She doesn't botch, but she fails.
5 successes.
Miranda's obviously too focused on looking for somebody in particular. She's not paying attention to whatever it is.
Priorities.
Wow.
Just got a priority.
Samantha and Air on it.
Yeah. That's it for the rolls tonight. It's all
Alright,
downhill.
you
from here.
guys both hear a kind of a low. It's too loud to be called a moan, but too quiet to be a scream of pain from further in.
Air raises an eyebrow and kind of starts turning towards the sound and making her way in that general direction.
Samantha will look that way as well and follow.
Okay, where are we going? And she will follow along, confused.
It's a weird noise.
You didn't hear that? It sounded like somebody was
What?
in pain.
I did not hear nothing. Are you sure you are not hearing things?
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. I have top-notch hearing.
Miranda's just gonna follow it because she has no clue what they're talking about.
All right, you guys get further in. You find a large, basically like a log that's been hewn in half to serve as sort of a table. There's a man strapped to this table, or you think he's strapped to it. It's hard to tell because, well, all of you know Ilmari. Ilmari is literally kneeling on top of him, like one knee on him and one foot up next to him, leaning over him. And you can hear him basically almost in a fury, just quietly, just like ranting at this guy about how this guy is just proof of the the warped corruption that Carl brings, and what he is a uh, uh, um, unacceptable or a travesty.
Do I recognize the person strapped to the log, or?
You don't, but Air saw him. This was one of the Silverfang purebreed fellows from the church.
Oh, goody. Oh, goody, goody. Air is kind of slowly going to approach, but she's kind of is he actually strapped down? That's what she's looking for.
As you get closer, you can see he's actually nailed to the table.
Oh.
Air slowly approaches. What did this guy do?
He sneers at him and says, twisted mockery of everything that it should be sacred to your people and my own.
Go on.
He squints at the looking down at him, and he says, now the real question is, where did that twisted, and then he stops and he goes, of course, Carl always was one for symbolism. He pulls back his hand and drives it through the side of the guy.
Oh, lovely.
And as he withdraws it, you can see a small object in his hand. It is appears to be some sort of canine teeth and fur all bound together.
She raises an eyebrow. Can I roll something to see if I can tell what this is for?
Sure.
This just came out of the dude's body, right?
Well, let's do wits and rituals.
Okay. Does Mystic count for rituals?
Sure.
Okay.
Is there anything Samantha could roll?
I was just thinking that.
Ooh, yeah.
Spirit
right,
lore
so
for you guys, or high
2,
ritual?
3, 4, 5. I have 5 successes with my 10.
Occult and cosmology.
You said wits or intelligence?
Wits.
Okay. Standard diff gives Miranda 4.
All right. That was Air's roll from before, correct?
What?
Before?
No, this 4 plus the 10 is a 5, so that's my current roll.
Okay. I thought that was still the perception roll from before.
Nope, that was the
Okay.
5.
Ah, there it is. People joined in between there. It mixed me up. All right. Both of you guys would recognize it as some sort of talisman. From a to Air standpoint, it would be almost like a talent or a fetish. From Miranda's standpoint, it's some sort of like a magic talisman or fetish object, like a voodoo type fetish sense.
Okay, so what is it for?
Well, you know it's got a spirit bound in it, but you're not exactly sure what, just by looking.
She kind of looks at Elmari and says, "Can I see it?" And she holds her hand forward.
He hands it over and he says, "It may not be very happy, either at its existence or at its removal."
She's going to very blatantly look at the silver fang. Do you want to tell me what it is, or are you going to make me actually do this? Because the way I see it, you're not in a great position.
As Ilmari leans, as you're talking to him, Ilmari leans down and says, "Why don't you tell her just how desperate your leader is, pretender?"
Is he like bleeding out badly?
I mean, he just had something torn out of his side, but
And yeah, how deep does it look?
well, Ilmari's hand was at least halfway in, so
She will look elsewhere.
Miranda's gonna move over and check the wound, and she's not gonna tend it at the moment, but she wants to be able to keep a closer eye on it since she doesn't want people dying here yet.
Yeah. She kind of puts a hand up and she's like, he can heal on his own, trust me. And she waits for an answer from the silver fang.
Ilmari starts laughing at that.
She just kind of looks at Ilmari. She wasn't sure, but now she's flashing him a look like, just shut the fuck up already. Like, she's looking at him like, yeah, I know. Just shh.
Stab.
Are you gonna tell me something? She's just waiting, looking at the silver fang.
If not, I can go into his mind and take it.
He doesn't look like he's planning to answer. Then Ilmari starts to draws back a fist and punches him in the face. You hear the bone shatter,
Ugh.
and then Ilmari looks at you and he says, "There's your answer right there."
She kind of raises an eyebrow. He's obvious. I'm assuming he's dead now.
Oh no, he's still alive.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, there's my answer. He punches him in the face. That doesn't tell me anything.
I think
All right.
Shouldn't he be more resilient?
He should.
So, is he like a skinwalker then? Somebody who steals the skin of another? We have stories of them like from Latin America. I assume they have something similar here.
Oh, we have
Ilmari spits and says
different lore about that.
he doesn't even have that much honor. He turns and says, "I wondered how it was Carl got wolves to fight for him."
That was you that they attacked?
He chuckles and says, "Yeah. The difference is I knew what I was getting into."
Well,
But their wolf leader was so desperate to have followers of his own, he would make any kind of bastardized deal with Carl.
Goody. So that explains some things, I'm sure. Air kind of looks at the dude, and she just kind of shakes her head. Well, I mean,
Yeah. Ilmari gestures towards the talisman and says, "You may want to unbind that at your earliest leisure."
okay.
I'm sure an ancestor and a rage spirit are not thrilled at being cooped up in such a way.
No, I can't imagine they would be. Just so happens that I have a way with certain kinds of spirits, and rage spirit would fall into that. So I will take this elsewhere when I leave when I leave, and yeah.
There are more at that church.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He only could get 3 actual wolves to fight with him.
I wonder what price he paid.
He gestures towards the talisman and he says, "No guru would make something like that."
Oh, I know.
And he gestures and he says, or he looks back and he says, "But when a guru is so desperate to have shock troops that he'll turn his own kin into them, why should we be surprised if he would also side with a Christian cairn stealer?"
Air gives a low growl at the mention of using kin for this.
Miranda looks around to make sure no other people have started to come watch this.
There's been
'Cause
others
she
kind of
doubts
passing through, but
nobody's stopping and watching.
not really. It seems like they're actually, everyone here seems, if not in the loop, then not entirely surprised by what's going on with, given where it is and who's in charge.
I guess we have the sacrifice for tonight.
And Air just kind of looks at this guy who's obviously kin now that it's been mentioned and just shakes her head. She looks so disgusted with him and the silver fangs, those other silver fangs, that she is actually speechless, but the look on her face says it all.
Omari looks and says, next time I go to that church, I'll go on the other side. Kin can't get over there.
Speaking of...
Actually, she kind of looks at Omari. That's only sort of true.
I'm sure they have ways just as our kind do, but it's not as readily feasible.
I mean, that's true. They don't have the means to do it on their own.
Samantha will pull out another bottle of water and walk over to the guy.
Right.
She'll open it up and attempt to give him some. And she'll step back.
When you go to the church to talk to Carl, we will be ready to push the button.
Okay.
Well, this time I didn't get close enough.
Hair just kind of is like, eh.
And Amari let her give him water and everything.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He turns and says, I'm sure someone will find an appropriate place for you.
So, did you bring him here, or did you just find him wandering around here? I promise this is important.
I brought him here
Okay.
after I grabbed him from the other side.
Okay. So, when you were at the church, did you see anything interesting that perhaps you may have seen before?
I wasn't paying a lot of attention. I was there to get one of them to get some answers and confirm a theory.
Well, do you remember the spirit that was on the other side at the church during the pagan meetup?
You forget I wasn't on the other side. I was on this side killing someone.
Yes. Yes. Who was the spirit on the other side? I saw that thing. Well, I asked if you found him here or not, because those same types of spirits my friend and I found wandering around the other side here.
Well,
And
there
was
were
more of them.
initially, because this was this was burned by Carl's followers, mortal followers.
Yep. But they mentioned the Silver Fang leader by name. They only said his name. And when I connected the two, well, that's when things got hostile. I don't know if there's more of them running around here, but it's possible.
Not around here, there's not.
You've been able to look?
I haven't needed.
No?
No.
Why not?
There have been a couple of others handling the other side.
Okay.
They've been pretty thorough.
I hope so.
He gestures up towards the sky and he says, well, when you bait something big and hungry, it tends to show up and do what it does.
All right. Who did you bait?
Me, I was, as I said, busy. There was a couple of others, however, under cooperative ritual that tagged all the spirits in this area in such a way as to make them look remarkably appetizing to a dragon. You know, knights in shining armor and all that. Really played up the mythology. It was supposed to. I hear it was a hell of a show.
Is that what the fire was that burned this place?
No. That's they burned the place and they left behind their spirits, and those spirits were here. So we had a couple of friends call the spiritual dragon down to deal with the spiritual angelic knights.
Which spiritual dragon?
He just kind of looks at you. And he says, I haven't been doing a whole lot of running around the other side. Try to keep it, business like on there over there. But to the best of my knowledge, there's only one big hungry black dragon flying overhead.
And she just faced him. Yes, I'm aware.
Oh, good. Then this should all be adding up pretty well for you.
So you literally just made a devourer spirit more powerful. Not you specifically, but you get what I mean.
Well, I mean, in the long run, it's kind of was the intent.
Goody. All right. Well, at least now I know and I can prepare for that. She doesn't look thrilled, but
Well, my understanding is that Gunnar has a plan for that as well.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Well, he's recently invested heavily in gathering resources to approach these problems.
I suppose Gunnar and I will have to have a conversation, a further conversation on this later. I know it's not the first one we've had.
Well, that's between you and him, whether he feels it warrants sending conversation or not. It's up to him. He seems to be doing a lot of playing close to the chest lately, finding things out after the fact. He kind of nods his head back towards the gate and he says, the man at the gate, for instance, John Corbin. He's he used to be a a different sort of occultist and ended up as one of the Baron's children.
Oh.
It seems the Baron has decided that he would be better suited having some close family around. Just what their city needs, a bunch of potent, aggressive, capable vampires.
She just kind of chuckles.
All beholden, of course, to a centuries-old, warlord, whose tolerance and patience have apparently run out.
He just wants things to be safe.
He wants a lot of things, and he's decided that he's not going to wait for other people to help him get them. And if that means he has to eliminate other people or sacrifice them to get them instead, he will. Fortunately, much of that correlates to my own objectives, so I have no problem.
Miranda looks like she's thinking about something, and like she's kind of doing that, like pointing with her finger, like she's pointing at things in her mind, and looking slightly unsure.
Samantha will just be kind of glancing around.
Miranda then looks at Air. If he is his son, would that make him? How well would that work? Well, no, my
What?
him. I am just trying to figure out the connections.
Whose connections?
It does not matter. I am distracted. Yes, I am sorry. She then looks around to see if she can see Gunner yet.
And actually, you notice him walking through, and he is walking with. I think has Miranda met Petrus?
Oh, Air knows Petrus though.
Eric and Petrus, and the two of them are talking. Petrus is, especially for Petrus, quite animated.
Air kind of smiles at that.
And as you guys, as they get closer walking, you can hear Petrus. And he says, I'm telling you, Gunnar, if you do this thing, there's no going back. This will be the final evidence that they need to justify a centuries-old grudge they've held against you and your family.
Air raises an eyebrow, and she can't help but to she's actively going to stick her nose in it this time.
Gunnar spins around and says, to justify it? Did they need justification when they put the knife in my brother's back? Did they need justification when they hunted down my own mortal descendants and killed every last one of the Gunnarsons? They haven't waited for justification, and they've acted without it this long. What difference does it matter if I give it to them now?
And Air is holding this talon in her hand, and her eyes kind of dart back and forth between the talon, Petrus, and Gunnar.
Miranda's gonna walk up beside Gunner and kind of wrap her arm around his arm on whichever side she ends up on, and just kind of rubs it soothingly, trying to so that he remembers that he's not alone.
Samantha will watch.
They apparently don't need much justification for fucking their own kin either. She holds the talon up.
He looks at it and then grabs it out of your hand.
Who grabs it out of my hand, Gunnar or Petrus?
Gunnar does.
She just kind of looks at him. I'm going to need that back.
He looks at it and begins to speak in Latin. I don't know if any of you guys know Latin.
Nope.
Samantha does.
Yes.
That's right, Samantha does.
Yep.
He is addressing apparently a silver thing, and he says, when you are released from this, you take a message back to the ones that trapped you so and yet still claim to be honorable family. And you tell them, they couldn't kill me then, they certainly won't kill me now. And it's my turn to hunt. He'll hand it back to Air. And he spits and says, disgusting little thing.
Yeah. No.
If a kin wishes to become a wolf, he should at least have the courage to do it himself.
Yeah, I'm not sure necessarily they're all willing, but I guess we'll find out. This one seemed like it, though.
They're willing enough to draw upon the spirits of their ancestors so that they can poach their gifts. At least mine, I crafted myself from the power of my own blood.
Fair enough. And she looks at Petrus. Yeah. This is gonna be fun.
He shakes his head and he goes, as he walks away, he goes, as if Guru politics weren't fucking bad enough. Gunnar looks at you and he says, if there are any of the tribe of Silverfangs among your allies, I suggest you give them a warning. He pulls out a strip of leather that's been dyed like a deep red, and he holds it out to you and he says, tell them to carry or wear this.
Very well. She'll take it. I run with one, oddly enough. Funny how that works, right?
Well, I'd hate for him to be mistaken for a different one.
I agree.
He turns and says, I have a number of things I need to resolve, especially considering your friend was so kind as to kill my mages. I have to do things the hard way.
I heard about that.
Until she finds me a new one, I have limited options. So I will have to work within what choices I have
Well,
to
maybe
deal with some ongoing and unresolved situations.
Well, I know I have. I don't think here is the time and place, but I think you and I should sit down and chat when you get a minute. Mono. She chuckles.
He says, I don't generally sit down much anymore.
You know what I
But
mean.
perhaps we can find some time.
Yes. It's been too long anyway.
Well, it's not. You're not wrong, but as I said, many things to resolve.
There are.
Something clicks in Miranda's head, and she kind of her face kind of blanches some in realization from what was being talked about.
Yeah.
And she clings to his arm a little bit tighter.
He turns and says, I'm sure we will manage something, but I have preparations to make. I suggest you both be safe, beware where you explore. When you create a place like this and you open it to the other sides, you invite things back. And as he turns, he says, looks at both of you and says, do keep an eye on one another. I wouldn't want either of you wandering into any place that would be problematic.
Air kind of smiles and she says, there's a lot of those.
So stay home or go to work. There is not very many options right now. But that is the safest thing, I think.
Well, I mean, at least you know you got plenty of space at home, she chuckles.
I do. That I am very thankful for. We are well taken care of, and she just smiles, casting a glance up at Gunner for a moment.
He nods and starts to head back deeper into kind of the obviously darker and older trees and stuff.
Does he bring
Ilmari kind of looks at you guys and he goes, as I said, he's playing things close to the chest.
I know. Kind of off topic here, Elmari. But being as we're dealing with kin here, she kind of glances at the silver fang on the table. Whose kin are you?
He looks and chuckles and says, "No kin that I know of."
Oh, but you smell like it. You're somebody's kin. I can't put a finger on it.
He says, "Well, you could perhaps ask my uncle."
Your uncle?
Yeah, he knows a lot more of the family history, but I don't know how much he chats with wolves.
No? Is he someone I'd have to tread carefully using words with?
It's more of a gunner, but with less modern perspective
Okay.
type of situation.
Okay.
Although he's pretty comfortable with mages, so that might help your case.
Fair
He's
enough.
at the old church, the
The
one.
old.
Yes, the one that's now our temple and sanctuary.
Right. And what's his name?
Vigo.
Vigo? Okay. She just kind of smiles slightly. Uh, did she catch him off guard with that question?
A little bit.
Now that it's been pointed out, aren't you the least bit curious?
He
If it has
shrugged.
not affected his life this long, why would it matter now?
It could later.
He shrugs a little bit and says, "Well, we all have ties somewhere."
Yeah. Hmm.
Miranda sits down, resting her feet and body.
Air's
Because very
kind.
pregnant.
Right. Air's kind of eyeing up the kinfolk. So, what do we do with him?
We can try and go in his mind and see if there is anything else that we should know about, or you can let him run back to his peoples, and they will then put you in danger and anybody who's here in danger, we can kill him.
Omari looks
Offer,
and says, I'm sure he's got his mind pretty well defended if he was carrying that from Carl. I doubt that's all Carl gave him.
did he
Hold
put
on.
the things on the parish or the directly on him though?
Carl bound the spirits into that talisman, but I'm sure he put other things on his shock troops here.
All right. What is this kinfolk wearing?
He's in like everyday street clothes that are pretty mangled and torn and bloody at this point.
Okay, anything like any jewelry, ring, necklace, anything little beyond just the street clothes?
He's got like a class ring type, nothing of any value or real significance.
Um okay. Trying to figure out if there's a way that I can tell if anything is bound with any more spirits.
I
Well,
can look and see if he has magical things about him.
Well, no, this is out of character.
Yeah, you were talking about they were talking about spells on him, so she's
Mhm.
saying that she can do that. She assumes Omari can too, but and she'll go ahead and cast Prime Sight, I guess. Straight fail.
Poor Miranda.
And she kind of lets out a sigh. I'm a little too tired, I think, to be able to master of that magic right now.
What kind of magic?
Seeing the magic and energy uh, in a person or an object, a place.
You're looking for that with him?
See, in case he has an enchantment just on him in general, or if it is tied to something he is wearing.
Let me check. Alright, it's just a R2, right?
Yep.
Where's the rules? Oh,
Diff 4 if you don't have it as a rote.
gonna spend a willpower. Do crime site. That first. 4 successes.
All right, with 4 successes, you can definitely tell he's been at some point had some sort of effects placed on him, but you can't really tell what, because they're not active now.
What's the gauntlet?
Does he have how many effects?
5.
I'm peeking. So I know my diff is lowered.
What was the other question, man?
So how many effects are on him? Or there were?
You can't exactly tell. It looks like there's possibly one big one layered together, but it involved a lot of different things.
Try let's see here. Sorry, I got a bunch of tabs open. Do a spirit sight.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll it.
Gonna spend a quit lowers the difficulty by 1.
Yeah, 1-to-1 ratio. Air peeking to the other side, you will see.
I haven't peeked yet.
Oh, I thought you did.
I know I have a lower difficulty for that, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, so I was going to the page on the forums.
Oh, because of your thing.
Totem, yeah. Okay, it's just one. So I actually have to roll it at diff 4. Alright. So, 6.
All right. You do not see any other spirits directly attached to this kin, although there do seem to be a couple that are like following him around.
Okay.
A lot of like ethereal enigmas type, very kind of abstract, mystical enigmas, secrets, that sort of thing. Following him around. You also notice there's a ton of spirits directly around Ilmari.
Okay. Kind of like it was the first time I met him. There's
Yep.
lots of spirits around him.
Correct.
Alright. And Air is going to look at Ilmari, Miranda, and Samantha, and if you'll excuse me for a minute. I need to go somewhere.
And then what do I see, John? I got 3.
With 3, you mostly are just going to see these spirits all around Ilmari. Different animal spirits, that sort of thing.
Okay.
All right. I'm actually going to pop sideways now. But I'm not going to do it directly in front of them.
Okay.
Right, so she steps sideways. And she's kind of gonna walk in the direction of these spirits that are kind of following this kin around, and she's not going to hide the fact that she's walking towards them, but she's watching more how they react to her as she does it.
All right. So which ones? I'm trying to follow.
The ones following the kin.
Okay. They largely ignore you. I don't think you have any.
I have spirit magnet.
Yeah, they're aware of you, but they pretty much seem to be mostly ignoring you. Although they do kind of gather around your necklace.
My necklace?
Yes. Which you can recall was made for Sean by a mage.
Right. Okay. So they seem drawn to that?
Correct.
Interesting. Is it specifically the ones that are following the kin around, correct?
Yep.
Okay. She just kind of sits down and what kind of spirits are they?
Spirits of enigmas and
Yeah.
spirits of secrets and mysteries, that sort of thing.
She kind of she sits down and kind of looks at them, and so guys, why are you hanging around with him? And she kind of motions in the direction of the kinfolk.
They spirits kind of start to whisper, and then one of them reaches out towards your necklace again, and it says, "Some things are touched, and when they are touched, they draw us."
Okay. So he's touched. Can you show me where he's touched?
Many parts of him have been touched by these strange powers.
Okay.
He's been altered by mysteries and enigmas foreign to your kind.
So magic.
And he looks at you and nods.
Okay, well, what kind of things has magic touched him with?
He looks at you and he says, shaping the mind, shaping the body, opening the spirit up.
And she kind of holds up that talon thing. You mean like this? Was this a part of that?
He, the spirits kind of recoil a little bit from it.
She covers her hands when she notices that they recoil, so that way they can't. And she'll put it back in her pocket.
And they kind of hiss and they go, "Magics, yes, but twisted, trapping, binding."
Okay, well, this is what I want to understand. I need to be able to undo this here, but I also need to understand what they are doing to their kin, because he's not alone. I'll kind of give them there's only 2 spirits, right?
Yes.
I will drop them each a temp gnosis to butter them up a little bit and put them off a little, ease them up a little bit after I just showed them this thing that bothered them.
Okay.
I hope you're willing to help. We wouldn't want any more people to go through what they're doing to them, would we?
The spirit just doesn't really answer it first, and then kind of almost sorrow says their own kin,
Their own kin.
their own ancestors.
I know. And she kind of looks at them. How do you suppose Falcon would feel about them doing this?
The spirits don't really answer, and just too many strange things.
Many strange things. Perhaps you I presume that you're here trying to figure out what exactly is up with everything on him. You seem curious enough about certain items.
We always seek the creations of the will workers, but especially when carried by those who are not themselves.
Who are not themselves will workers.
Indeed.
And she kind of puts her hand on the necklace. Well, perhaps you might pass along a message that Falcon may want to look at what his children are doing to their kin. here in Amsterdam. Think you could do that for me?
And he just, the spirit just kind of gives you a little affirmative shake and says, but not here, too much, too much.
Oh,
Where do you wish to meet?
wish to meet. Oh, you're going to find Eagle or Falcon to meet me?
Well, I get messages otherwise. Bring him whatever secret words you wish and then come back to you.
Oh, well. She says you should. There are a few places that you can find me, but perhaps my cabin is the best place.
And the spirit just kind of nods and flits off.
Okay.
It kind of bobs. Not really nods, they're not humanoid, but you get the
Right. I get the
same
idea.
Right.
Okay. And Air is gonna kind of watch the spirits that seem to be congregating around Ilmari.
Okay.
I figure that way if Natalie wants to do something, she can.
There's not a whole lot Miranda can do at the moment, so.
Okay. Yeah, she's just kind of seeing what kind of spirits these ones are. Just generally curious what kind of spirits he draws to him.
Well, it's hard to say if they're drawn to him or if they're linked to him somehow, but there's a lot of different animal spirits for sure.
Okay.
Some warrior spirits, some pain spirits.
War spirits, huh? Okay. And with that, she will kind of pop out of the Umbra and walk back towards Miranda and Elmari.
Samantha said goodnight. She was getting tired, so she went home.
She gets tired quickly. Well, anything we're looking for is non-specific, as they apparently did a number on the entirety of the kin.
So we do not know how many people are like these out there?
However many their kin are, but I've got friends on the other side passing some messages along for me. I'll put it this way, I'm not sure how happy these fangs are going to be. But we'll see.
They are still hunting gunners? That is not good.
No, it's not. I have to wonder if they realized who I was when I was at the church.
I do not know.
Because I'm sure it's not just Gunner they're out to get.
They also want his descendants. And she kind of puts a hand protectively over her stomach.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not sure how they'd know about that, though.
They are not like a hive mind or anything, no?
Oh, no. But you might want to
Keep a low profile.
keep a low profile, and because of I need to find a way to avoid certain tactics they may have myself, just to keep everybody else safe, because if they haven't figured out who I am, they will eventually. And I'm sure they'll try to use that to their advantage. Or just off me, too. She chuckles.
I do not like these options. I will work to make sure that I am concealed from being found.
If you can find a way to make yourself untraceable to them, that would probably be good.
I will see what I can do. I will have people to help me in a couple days
Okay.
for the May Day celebrations.
I need to make sure that I'm untrackable as well.
I can try and make it for both of us if you want.
I don't want to strain you too much. She kind of looks at Miranda's belly. You
Doing it
save it for
during
yourself.
the as part of the ceremony, it draws energy from not just me. Is a little bit from everybody to it takes a little bit, some of the burden off.
Well, Miranda, I want you to focus on you. In those regards, because I do have other people that I can ask to help me with that.
Okay.
Air will kind of smile at her and put a hand on her shoulder.
Just be careful. This does not sound like it will be safe for anyone.
That being said, I should go speak with my brother.
Yes, he probably should know that the things will not be safe.
They may not know about him, but well, maybe they will. Who knows? Either way, he knows what's going. Well, certain things. So I should make sure he can keep himself safe. Though that hasn't been much of an issue. She chuckles.
And so you guys are largely going to be just kind of getting everybody into the loop.
specifically family-wise, yeah, I mean...
Sure. Is there anything
She'll
else you
bring-
want to get done in the scene here?
Miranda wants to make sure that this man's not going to run back and talk.
Okay. Well, Omari tells you you can hold him for a time being, or eliminate him are probably the two surest ways.
I'm fairly certain that... You know what? I know nothing. Whatever you decide to do, I know nothing. Sound good? Good. And Air starts to walk away.
And Miranda's going to wait until Air is out of sight and look up to Amari and say, "May we sacrifice him?"
Omari kind of shrugs and says, I don't see why not. Seems a little shallow to do to a unworthy opponent, but at the same time, it's better than wasting him.
I am just thinking that since it is his blood that is out haunting me, that his blood will be good to create a shield so that they cannot track me.
Yeah, that certainly would be an option potentially. Make you harder to detect.
And Miranda will make arrangements for that to happen.
All right. Well, we can take care of that in the blue books too for your casting and whatnot. However, you're going to actually utilize that process. And that can be an action blue book because you just describe what you're doing, make the rolls, and we're good. So, but all right. Well, then we will wrap it up here with you guys kind of dispersing to take care of some odds and ends, finish some conversations, and go from there. So this has been another episode of Nightfall in Amsterdam. Thank you players for playing and watchers for watching.
Fucking